Hello and welcome to Filmmaking With. On today's episode, we receive Richard L. Asmar. And for the first time ever on this show, I will not be showing you the short film. And the reason for that is because it is troubling. Like, way too troubling. But if you do want to watch it, the link to the movie will be in the description down below. So go give it a watch if you feel like you can handle it. So how are you, Richard?
Pretty good, pretty good. We starting this interview at the curfew actually, so
Yay!
it's the right time, I guess. Doing it,
Yeah, exactly. We can't go outside anyway, so
yeah, we're stuck. So
what more to do? I've read about you in the interview you had, but I want to ask actually, where did the idea of that short film came? Actually,
you're talking about
Lullaby.
Lullaby, yeah. Well, there was no idea that came. There was just me being in this environment where I was so taken by Freud at the time. That was 15 years ago, and psychological theories and stuff like this. Only to realize that Freud got me sick a bit at the end. So the movie ended up being troubling. Like I got troubled with all the theories, but that was 15 years ago. So I changed since that time. And there was no idea. There was just expression and finding theories of Freud. Most of them are sexual, as we know, and putting them in the movie. And at the time, I was still not as mature as now. So I wanted to show my work that much. It was all about me at the time still. So I wanted to do something perfect, really perfect for that. So I was really, and even the movie ended up being troubling, but I learned a lot from it because this movie was written in 2 years for just 10 minutes. So
Okay.
I worked with 5 psychologists. It was really exhausting, but this is the reason why I can do movies today in a fine quality and I can film so fast because of that movie.
What made you realize that actually it was mostly getting you sick? Because you did go on a different path afterwards.
Yes,
Um,
indeed.
but what brought you to that realization?
Well, you grow with time. That was 15 years ago. My latest movie, Utopic Stroke, was about the piece of Christ. So if you see both movies, you can see, because there's always a piece of you somehow, or a piece of your belief that shows in the movie. You can see a different state of mind,
Yeah.
and then and when you do a movie and you get involved in it, it's a therapy. It ends up being a therapy for you, same as it is always when you express yourself. But with the movie, you're expressing every picture is 1,000 words, so you have to it's lots of expression. You know what I mean? I got a lot out of me, and I got over that stage. I'm not interested in Freud anymore, and that's much in psychology. I'm more of a spiritual guy now. So I grew. That's a good thing about it.
Yeah, that's the most important thing about it, actually.
Definitely. Yeah.
And you did travel a lot
Oh yeah.
through that time. What actually did all these travels made you well discover either about yourself or about the world and what you wanted to become?
Well, actually, when I finished the movie, I felt like I needed to travel the world
Okay.
because, but as I said, I just grew with the movie, and I felt I'm from Lebanon originally, so I felt like I need to travel the world. And the job in Qatar with Al Jazeera came right on time. You know, when you take a job in the Gulf, you don't pay taxes, so you always have that luxury to travel 2-3 times a year sometimes, which I did, and it came on time. Like I cannot tell you how. Got fixed it on time. As soon as I finished the movie, I got the job, went there, and I would travel twice a year. And I wanted, because the movie was so exhausting, I wanted to live life without framing it, if I remember right.
Okay.
So I didn't take much of pictures of my travels. I took a couple of them. I don't regret it, but I did crazy things during my travel, like skydiving in Ukraine, scuba diving with the
Okay.
sharks in Mexico, trekking to Annapurna base camp where you can't breathe anymore. You need oxygen after that. It's 4 kilometers, I remember, over the sea. in Nepal. But I did all kind of crazy stuff, I just got it out of my system. I don't feel like traveling that much anymore, but
We're enough behind the screen without being behind the screen when we visit somewhere we've never been before. So
yeah, because once you're a filmmaker, your eye is always framing things automatically.
Yes.
The way your eye is the essence of filmmaking. It's not the camera is the tool and the lens are the tools really, but your eye, what's in your heart is really you're the essential. Your perception actually. That's what I mean. I mean, directing is a point of view at the end of the day before anything else.
yeah,
So yeah,
exactly.
I hear you. Yeah.
So yeah, so you did all those travelings. When exactly did Utopic Strokes came out?
Utopic Strokes came out, well, now I think in 2019 or 20, something
Okay.
like this. I've worked on it for a while, and we stopped it. Then it was supposed to be a 45 minutes movie, but then it ended up being how much was it? I think 20 minutes or 15 minutes actually, 15 minutes. It ended up being 15 minutes, and it was my first movie when I arrived here in Montreal after Qatar. I just went back to Lebanon for a year or so, and I just moved here. And
Okay.
it was my first movie, and somehow there was something about me inside that wanted to express my love for Christ, and the movie ended up being about the peace of Christ. But none of this was planned, just so you know. I mean, it just got out of and somehow the subject of the pottery and everything fits so much. For example, creating a pot with your hands fits so much the image of God creating human beings with his hands. There's lots of similarities there, and the project just came in like this. I just met Becca Feldman, my colleague at the time. I just met her on Facebook. She was looking for someone to assist her with the movie, and we just moved forward from there.
And actually, might be me that didn't get it, but this connection, the next one that that is coming out, that you did a trailer for a couple
Yes,
weeks ago, I think.
yes, that was it.
It, what is it about actually? What can you tell? Because again, I'm going to show the trailer.
Yeah, get over there. Get back over there, you dumb ghost. Get back into the laundry where you belong. That's where I put a nest there for the laundry. For the ghosts. House of spirits.
There is demon possession in Hinduism.
I have been raped. Been to a lot of nice psychologists who didn't force themselves on me.
We do know what heals.
Fortunately, I managed to be joyful even in my version of hell, which is a mental hospital.
And a caring therapy relationship can heal.
Practically, it's about treating mental health issues with love and human relationships, which a psychiatrist like Peter Bregan does.
Okay.
So it can be treated. Because if you dig deeper into it, there's no physical proof that there's an illness, and nobody knows where this illness comes from. And this was since decades going on for decades. So it can be treated with love. We can talk more about it, why it can be treated with love, but you're gonna have to go dig deeper in Genesis in the Bible to understand who we are as human beings and how God created us and why we need love more than we need food and water. And when we are in a lack of love, I'm talking mainly about the love of God, this is where psychological issues and violence and stuff start to pop up out of us, So as much as spirituality is always a hidden world, I would say, but it's the essence of who we are. We are spiritual beings. Though the movie is about love mainly.
You're the first person that actually worked in, well, if we could say journalism. What could you say about that universe? Actually, the inside of that universe that like people don't see, apart from the fact that you're in a rush most of the time.
Yeah, because it's a big company, it's not a small company. So you become kind of a number in a way or another in all big companies, not just in Al Jazeera. And things could get sometimes a bit political, I would say, which I'd stayed away from. Political within the company, I mean, people could get oriented into having more authority at work or making more money or so, but I was never that attached to, I just needed the money to travel the world, you know what I mean? So I never got into that vibe in the company. I just performed, and and enjoyed it. I guess that's. And then I left. It was time to leave, and I didn't feel like it was the right environment for me to do movies. That's what I want to do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But at the time, I didn't know that I was going to preach Christ through movies, or a side of Christ through movies, like peace, love, etc., etc. You know. But you know, you grow. You don't know where God's gonna put you in your life somehow. So it happens. I'm here now. I'm so grateful to be here, and let's see how it's gonna go.
Actually, you did say earlier that you could go deeper in explaining how the love of God can heal. Well, if you want.
Yes, sure. Well, as the Bible tells us in Genesis, now I know we're talking to a broad, lots of viewers. Some people believe, some people don't believe. But I'm just going to explain what I believe at this point, and as I'm sharing, that's all I'm saying. Okay, so when God created us out of love, and when we were in paradise, we were in a relationship of love with Him. Then we sinned, we disobeyed Him, so we got separated from paradise and from Him. So we became in a lack of love. And after that, you start seeing all the violence and everything starting to arise on earth, generations forward, until Christ comes back and just share His love on the cross. I mean, what Christ on the cross is really sharing His love. He saved us with His love. You know what I mean? For those who choose Christ. And so that's what I'm saying. All mental health issues, psychology, the source of those symptoms are really a lack of love. Like when you are in a lack of love, let's say because you got bullied, okay? It's an action of lack of love, which leads to pain. And if you don't want to face that pain, and most of the people don't want to really face the pain, they could end up living, let's say, a delusion or a paranoia or whatever, just to survive that pain. Now, if you look at it outside superficially, you're going to see an illness, someone who's not acting really socially, you know, in a social way. But deep, deep, deep inside, what led to those symptoms, most of the time, I don't know most of them seriously, but what led to those symptoms is that lack of love. So all you have to do, it's that simple, by the way, is compensate that lack of love. And just loving the person in a relationship, you pass the love through our relationship, because, you know, we're beings who contaminate each other. Let's say I spend 1 hour or 2 hours talking to you right now and I'm full of fear. You're gonna feel the fear eventually. You know, if I'm full of love and peace, you're gonna feel the love and peace, vice versa, it's the same thing. So just when you see someone in having psychological issue, and we all have a bit of psychological issue, none of us is perfect, you know, just love them. Just have a relationship with them, love them, if you have the gift to do that, you know. And Peter Breggin explains it very well in his videos. He's a licensed psychiatrist, you know, but he did those things, he did those healings way before he became a psychiatrist, and that's why he became a psychiatrist eventually. So all you have to do, just love the person. And love never judges. Love turns the other cheek. Most importantly, never judge a person. You never know what they've been through. You never know. No matter how much you cannot identify to them, just don't judge any person. I mean, we all have weaknesses. We all have issues. We all have. Just love the person. Love only knows how to give. Love doesn't want anything for himself. You know, it could be, and love is modest too. So it's there to serve the whole time, not to be served. So just you know, and in a way or another, to prevent mental health issues and mental health issues and stuff like this, it's better to teach people how to love each other rather than just respecting each other, which is important, of course. But when you love someone, you respect them automatically, you know. And this is how, if there's a better social connection between people based on love, I have an impression that lots of mental health issues can be prevented eventually. But this is gonna take a few years if people want to do it. It's a social thing. Not one person can do that. You know what I mean?
Do you have any plans on dipping your toe again in the filmmaking, like doing actually a movie or a short film?
There's a feature movie I'm working on, but I know it's going to take a couple of years. I'm writing. I'm not sure it's going yet, but I haven't wrote for a while because, as I said, I improvise everything. So there is this, and then there is a project, a kind of a documentary continuing the mental health project. It might end up being capsules of series, like web series. We're not sure yet. You know what I mean?
Okay.
But those two things I'm working on right now.
Well, thanks to you for being here.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this interview with Richard L. Asmar, please do drop a like and subscribe to the channel. Do leave in the comment who you would like to see on this show and we'll try to reach them. Thank you.